I was tagged in this story on Twitter, and when I first started to read some of the headline, I'm thinking it's an update to a story I recently did about probably close to a month ago now. So just amazing how time just flies by so fast. But it actually turns out this is a whole new story, but the setting or the tone is very much the same. So if y'all remember, about a month ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, I did a story talking about two Afghan refugees that came over here. One of them was domestically abusing his wife, and the other one had sexually assaulted this minor. Well, one of them happened again, but this time with somebody completely different. So this man's name is, and let me scroll down a little bit so I can get it. His name is Zab, and I'm probably going to mispronounce it. His name is Bahula Mumand. And he was charged with sexually assaulting a young woman in the state of Montana. So this is the third story, or the second story, but the third person I've done a topic about or discussed in topic form, where someone from Afghanistan who came over here with that crop and is literally doing what they did over there and bringing their behavior over here. And I think we're starting to see that there's a pattern here, at least as far as I can tell amongst the men that are from there, that many of them cannot keep them hands to themselves, whether they are domestically abusing somebody or if they are sexually assaulting someone else. So let's get into it. An Afghan evacuee has been charged with sexual assault of a woman in Missoula, Montana, the state's governor said Thursday, and he called for the Biden administration to halt all refugee resettlements until assurances are made about the vetting process, which I'm sure they're not really doing much of when it comes to that vetting process. Governor Greg Gianfort's office said in a statement that an Afghan male placed in Montana by the U.S. State Department was charged with sexual assault. The Missoula Police Department told Fox that Zabahullah Mumand was arrested after they received a 911 call from the victim in a local motel about concerning behavior. Mumand, age 19. Look, he is 19. He's 19. Because I think the one that I talked about before, he was in his early 20s. So these are young men, very young men doing this. And like I said, they probably were doing this over there where they could get away with it. But what they're doing is they're bringing their behavior over here, thinking they can do it over here. But then again, like they said, they're reaching out to the Biden administration because they're the ones that let them over here. And they said they're not vetting them properly. They're just letting them come over. He said he is now being held at the Missoula County Jail on charges of sexual intercourse without consent, and the case is being investigated by detectives, but did not confirm his evacuee status. The local court told Fox News that there is a federal hold on Mumand. The victim says that she met Mumand, who asked her to go back to her hotel room, but she said she did not want anything to happen, court documents reviewed by Fox News shows. The victim was later seen in the lobby visibly upset and called 911, according to those documents. Before I finish this, ladies, those Me Too heifers, this is how you properly get somebody who sexually assaulted you. You do not wait years down the line to say something. You tackle it right then and there. Just have to throw that in there. Authorities found the victim's bra and socks in Mumand's room. The man said the incident was consensual. The incident was first reported by local outlet KGVO. In a statement, Gianforce said that while he welcomes fully vetted Afghan allies to Montana, this situation and others across the country raised serious questions about whether the Biden administration is meeting its obligation to fully vet Afghans prior to resettlement. Oh, I can answer that for you. Most likely no. I'm calling on President Biden to immediately halt resettlements to Montana until federal agencies provide me with adequate assurance that Afghans coming to Montana are fully vetted in accordance with federal law. Senator Steve Daines of Montana said the suspect was admitted to the United States and placed in Montana under humanitarian parole and backed stopping resettlements. The fallout and consequences from Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan continue. He said in a statement, while I support assisting our fully vetted Afghan allies who serve alongside our armed forces, President Biden has failed to provide answers as to who has come into the country or if they have been fully vetted according to what's required by law. I've spoken to Governor John Ford about this situation, and I stand with him in calling on Biden to stop all Afghan resettlements to Montana until we get answers. Representative Matt Rosendale, who has expressed concerns about the vetting of nationals for weeks, has introduced legislation on the matter, said national was paroled into the country without proper screening. These unvetted Afghans do not share our culture and our values, and as this horrific incident shows, they represent a serious risk to our communities. We cannot allow this administration to continue to jeopardize the safety of our communities and the security of our nation in the name of empathy. He also urged a halt to the resettlement of nationals and called on Biden to begin to remove Afghan evacuees that have resettled from the United States. The Biden administration has been bringing tens of thousands of Afghan nationals into the country in the wake of the U.S. withdrawal down. It has said the process is multi-layered, and officials say screening and security are conducted by intelligence, law enforcement, and counterterrorism officials from multiple agencies. The Department of Homeland Security, which is overseeing Operation Allies Welcome, told Fox News on Thursday that Afghan parolees are expected to abide by the laws of the United States, both while in military installations and as resettled members of local communities. Criminal behavior is not tolerated, and those who violate the law are subject to prosecution and may be put into removal proceedings. While in military installations, Afghan parolees are briefed about the conditions of their parole, and that violating the law violates their parole. Something tells me you can tell them all of that, but they still gonna violate it. Like I said, this is just stuff that they do. Like what they did back in Afghanistan, they're bringing it here, and you can't beat that out of them. That's like when it kills me when they say, "Oh, we're going to do these diversity trainings to try to get the racism out of this person." You can do all the diversity training in the world, and it still will not change that person's outlook of how they see race in America. The spokesperson emphasized that individuals are subjected to rigorous multi-layered screening and vetting processes that involve biometric and biographic screenings conducted by intelligence, law enforcement, and counterterrorism professionals from the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security, FBI National Counterterrorism Center, and additional intelligence community partners. But Republicans have raised concerns about the vetting process and pointed to a number of cases in which Afghans have been accused of serious crimes, although administration officials have noted that they are still relatively few considering the numbers they have come in. A female soldier at Fort Bliss in New Mexico reported being assaulted on September 19th by a group of male evacuees, an incident being investigated by the FBI. That was after Barula Nori, a 20-year-old Afghan evacuee, was charged with attempting to engage in a sexual act with a minor. That's one of the ones that I was talking about. And he was 20. So you have this guy who's 19 and the other one was 20. Was charged with attempting to engage in a sexual act with a minor using force against that person, along with 3 other counts of engaging in a sex act with a minor at Fort McCoy in Wisconsin, according to a statement from the department. Another evacuee at Fort McCoy, a 32-year-old Mohammed Haroon Ahmad, was charged with assaulting his wife. That was the other one I was talking about in that same video, by choking and suffocating her on September 17th. And I didn't get around to doing that video about the one that happened on the military base, but that one I do remember hearing about at that time. So as you can see, this is a problem. So this story right here, while it started off talking about what this guy did, it went even more in depth in saying that they're not properly vetting these evacuees that come here. They're just letting them come in just because I guess they feel sorry for them because of what happened over there. That's not how this works. Now you're allowing a bad element into this nation, you're into this establishment, and then they're going to flood and spill out into these communities, and ours is going to be one of them. And I have a feeling that if that happens, we going to be in some trouble. So they definitely need to fix that. And by they, I'm talking about the Biden administration. They're the ones that allowed them to come over here and allowed them to come in. Because it's definitely going to be a problem. Because see, it starts off with just a couple of people, and then it snowballs into a domino effect, and then it leads into many more. Like I said before, they are bringing the element and the behavior of what they've done over there to here because that's all they know. That's all you know. You like when you do something over in one place, you carry it over to another place, but not realizing that where you're going is not the same as from where you left. That's why when you hear stories about like that Otto Warmbier, when he went over there and he tore down that banner in North Korea, that probably would have flew or went and just kind of been a slap on the wrist here, where, back here. But over there, that meant something to them. And that's why they put him through torture before they sent him back over here, in which he, of course, later died. Or that Asian guy that went over to the North Sentinel Islands. I don't know why in the hell he thought to go over there, but he never made it back. His bones is probably scattered amongst that island right now as we speak. So like I said, you just have to be careful of who you just let over anywhere. Like, you just wouldn't let an uninvited guest into your home. You have to vet that person before they set foot anywhere in your home. But they just opened the door and let them walk right on in and do whatever the hell they wanted. And now this is the problem that we're having. And the thing is, they said they've let thousands in here so far. We've only heard about what, 5 or 4 out of thousands. Now, I'm not saying all of them are like this, but you can't take the risk and try to guess which ones are and which ones aren't. That's like trying to figure out which snake is poisonous and which one isn't. I'm not trying to figure out either way, because it doesn't matter whether the snake is poisonous or not. They both bite, and them bites will hurt. It's just that one will kill you and one will not. But I'm not going to stick around to find out. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.